you. That's what I'm going to tell you. I'm going to say, this is Kayfabe Gimmicks. It's me, Snooba. I got Alex here tonight.
What's up, fellas?
I got Jackson here.
Yo, what's going on?
And basically, we're going to do something really, really, really fucking different this week. Crazy fucking different. Because Raw is going home. We have Fastlane this weekend. And honestly, I'm kind of at the point of like, fuck this product. Because we all know it's a shitty episode when you're going home. It's just one of those, we can't really do much, we don't want to risk any major injuries. What can we do to further some stories? And we did further a few stories this week. We furthered Rusev and Cena. We furthered Ambrose and Wyatt, or Ambrose and Bad News Barrett.
Yep.
Bray Wyatt probably furthered WrestleMania. Mizdow and Miz furthered WrestleMania. You know, we did a lot of furthering for WrestleMania.
Yeah.
But I'm going to start it simple. And I'm going to start it with you, Alex. Favorite moment of the week, what was it?
And it can't be from NXT, can it?
It can't be from NXT.
I actually enjoyed the Cena-Rusev stuff at this point. I'm actually getting pretty into that feud right now.
I'm hella excited about that feud. Jackson, what were your thoughts on it?
I'm getting into it. Getting into the feud. Cena and Rusev. Familiar with John Cena from back in my days when I was watching wrestling, since I've been out of wrestling for, 12, 13 years now, so
We're going to get into that. We're going to get into that.
Okay. Watching Cena when he was coming up. But anyways, yeah, man, Rusev seems like a bad dude. Bad dude. So, watching those two guys go at it and beat the snot out of each other was, I dug it. It was cool.
Anytime I get to see Rusev speak English, I'm pretty excited at this point. I don't care. The fact that he even is doing the you can't see me shit to fuck with Cena, I like it.
That was freaking hilarious, man.
That's what we call good wrestling right there. So, Jackson, what was your favorite moment of the night?
Favorite moment of the night? I did like the whole Stardust and Goldust little the feud. It was cool seeing Dusty and but really interested in seeing how that plays out. So I have to say that's probably one of, if not my favorite moment of the show.
All right. For me, guys, it's really, really simple. Anybody got a guess what I'm going to go with? I know you, Alex. You know me well.
Oh, Lord, let's see. What would Dick Bagger talk about? Probably the brawl at the end. I don't know.
No. There's a very special moment in this episode for me. And that is the Ric Flair Triple H moment.
Oh, well, yeah, I should have thought of that one, too. Forgot about that for a second.
The fact that Ric Flair actually got pushed to the ground and, like, Triple H is like, like...
Yeah.
Let's be real here. Ric Flair would go wrestle a match right now if somebody would let him.
Yeah.
I would pay money to watch Ric Flair wrestle an Invisible Bear now.
That dude will bump till he dies.
He really will. It kind of goes on that whole thing of age really doesn't matter in wrestling.
Well, slow down there, Johnny Rocket. Let's be real here, man. If we actually saw Undertaker versus Sting, oh God, and it can't happen this year and it happened next year, you want to know what it would be like? You ever seen the video? You ever seen the video of the two 70-year-old Canadian Football League coaches punching each other? And they get winded after about 30 seconds? That's probably what we would get out of them at this point. I hate to say it, man, but they are both over the hill.
I mean, I think with Undertaker, it comes down to a lot of injuries. Look, Raw was what it was. We have Fastlane coming up. It's going to be an interesting pay-per-view because we do have Rusev versus Cena. And we have Daniel Bryan versus Roman Reigns in the most bullshit match I've ever heard of. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just going to admit it because, I mean, let's be honest. When Triple H even comes out and says, well, we can't really take away his shot since he won the Rumble, you're just risking legitimizing the Royal Rumble at this rate.
Honestly, the thing that's really fun about the whole Daniel Bryan Roman Reigns feud is that they actually don't like each other. Like, you can tell that these guys legitimately in real life, no kayfabe here, it's just straight realism. These dudes do not like each other. They were that brawl was stiff as fuck, man.
I was going to come out and use this as part of our news area later, but Daniel Bryan came out this past week and said that it was not the overzealous Philly fans that were booing Roman Reigns. It was the hardcore WWE fan base that actually travels to these pay-per-views that was so upset that Roman Reigns won.
And he's right.
So he's essentially calling them out.
He's essentially, what he's claiming.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you don't understand this because you don't follow wrestling like we do, but Philadelphia is a special crowd. It's where ECW was born and raised.
It's possibly the smarkiest town in the country.
I'm sorry, you gotta reset that. You cut out a little bit there.
I said Philadelphia is most likely the smarkiest town in the country with
No.
maybe, and I say maybe, well, I'm speaking just like if a Raw shows up. I don't mean like a pay-per-view shows up. I feel like you'd get the same kind of crowd in Philadelphia if it was just Raw.
I hear you. Now, what we mean by the term smart is people fall down into one of two categories in wrestling. You're either a mark who falls into this show and you actually mark out at moments and you're like, oh my god, this is happening right now. Holy shit. And then you're an educated informant watching. And even then, you just fall into the category of a smark.
Which is a smart mark.
And wrestlers really, I mean, they throw that term around almost offensively. If you're a smark, you're not really a good thing.
Okay.
Let's be real. It's not good to be a smark. It kind of destroys the fun.
You have to be able to dial it back and just go back and watch the product and enjoy it.
Exactly. Royal Rumble, when I thought that The Rock might actually show up and win the Rumble, I was excited as fuck. I was barking out because, you know what? It would have been one of those off-the-wall choices that would have worked.
And
Rusev getting a chance to win could have been one of those awesome moments, and I marked out for it. I was like, holy shit, they could actually do something grand here.
But they didn't.
No. But, you know, when you watch wrestling, even as a smart, you learn that curveballs happen, and sometimes they really are out of left field, and they're a good thing. But, going onwards, you know, I don't really feel like the hardcore WWE fan base, I know there's a lot of people who do the, oh man, Road to WrestleMania circuit, but I feel like the fact that you were in Philly was the real issue there. And this is Daniel Bryan just talking mad shit.
Which I almost don't blame him for. I mean, Vince wants people to go out and, you know, reach for the top, but he'll smack you back down if you're not the guy that he wants to reach for the top. Well, I shouldn't say Vince. WWE in general. We don't really know if it's Vince doing it, so I'm not going to do that.
I really do feel like that's not fair. And going further into my news, Derek Bateman came out this week also, and he cut a whole interview about TNA and, you know, what it's like for him now that he's away from WWE. And he talks about how TNA will allow you to build yourself as a brand. They don't care if you go work House of Hardcore with Tommy Dreamer or any other promotion. I mean, they want you to be able to do your own thing. They give you the freedom. TNA doesn't have the vigorous schedule that WWE has. When you work for WWE, you work what, 4 days a week easily plus training?
Dependent upon who you are. I mean, I'm sure Seth Rollins right now has a crazy schedule because he wrestled on Monday live on Raw, taped SmackDown on Tuesday, which means he probably had presser events Sunday and Wednesday.
Plus, he had live events on Friday and Saturday nights.
Yeah.
Because WWE does a lot of live events. I don't know if you know about that, Jackson. But they do still do a shitload of live events. They might only get 7,000-8,000 people at those live events, but, you know, that's 75% of a stadium.
Right.
At this point, why does the WWE still do house shows?
What do you mean?
I understand why there are house shows. I completely get that. My bigger question is, with how much they're starting to quote-unquote worry about their people, why are they still doing house shows? You already have the guys wrestling 2 nights a week in a row, and then you're going to give them 1 day to rest, and then they have to wrestle 2 more days in a row, and then they get 1 day to rest. And it's just rinse and repeat.
Now, actually, this is kind of interesting because Jackson here trains in martial arts once a week. Now, Jackson isn't training for a fight, but, I mean, Jackson, how do you feel about this? Is that crazy of a schedule?
It depends. I mean, you know, once you fall into a rhythm, it doesn't seem as crazy. Once your body gets used to a certain amount of exercise, then you just kind of fall into a rhythm, and your body, muscle memory kicks in, and it's just, it's, you start your training, and like for me personally, I try to train at least 2 days a week. I know people though that are training 5 days a week, and not just, going to class in 1 hour, and that's part of their workout regimen. They'll train, they'll do prop training, and then they'll supplement that with running 5 miles or lifting weights, for an hour in the gym. So once you fall into a rhythm, I think your body gets used to it, and it's not as bad as you would think. So,
I mean, I understand that because anytime I've deployed, yes, military, blah, 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 we don't need to talk about that shit.
We're not talking about that shit.
We go and you work 6 days a week, 12 hours a day with nothing else to do, well, in my case, but lift weights on your off time, which I understand that your body gets accustomed to that because I would lift twice a day, 7 days a week. But the difference is that your muscles taking a beating, and wrestling in the way that it would abuse your body is the fact that you're falling and all that kind of crap quite often. I mean, yes, you are a professional faller in the weirdest way to put it, but it's gotta hurt, man. I mean, you have to be walking around just battered and bruised all the time.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, see, here's the thing. As much as anybody wants to say wrestling is fake, I think we can all attest to the fact that no matter what, these guys feel pain.
Yeah.
And quite a bit of it. There's a huge history of pain medication abuse.
I'll fill you in
this
later.
Industry.
Mm-hmm.
You fill us in later on what?
We'll talk about this shit off the time. Don't worry about it.
Oh, the other shit. God damn it, we're recording a session right now. This is Kayfabe Gimmicks. You gotta like us on Facebook, subscribe to us, all of that shit. We're Eviction Entertainment on YouTube. ENT? That's ENT, isn't it? Eviction ENT. See, Matt? We remember things even when you're not here.
Shout out to the unclean spitter. He's a pussy.
While we're doing shout-outs real quick, guess who we're gonna say happy birthday to, Alex?
If it's roughly, I'm gonna tell him to get bent.
No, it was already fucking his birthday, and we didn't do jack shit for mine, and we're not doing it now, but Money Mercer had a birthday today.
Well, I haven't talked to Mercer in a little while.
Call him Terrence. That's his real name.
I think if you call him Terrence, he might try to stab us.
Whatever.
Whatever.
I'm pretty sure
Shout out to Terrence. Happy birthday, bro.
I'm pretty sure he's a midget. I saw a picture of him next to a girl. The girl was taller than him.
Oh, shit. Put on blast. Put on blast. Somebody call Mercer quick.
I've been putting him on blast all goddamn day. Jackson, do you want to talk more about your Krav?
Yeah, it's I've been doing it for about 2 years now, and it's incredible. It's an incredible experience. It's not only just the physical part of it, but just the mental part. I think that's probably what has affected my life the most. Is just it teaches you just situational awareness. I mean, I can't go into a restaurant or an area without scanning everywhere and looking at people that could potentially start something. And I know that sounds kind of paranoid, but it's not paranoid. It's more just being aware of your surroundings, having a higher level of awareness. But yeah, I mean, it's been great. I mean, I'm in a lot of pain. Like Alex said, I mean, yeah, you get used to it and your muscles get used to it, but I mean, you're in pain. I mean, I'm always in some level of pain. Something will hurt, whether it's a sore calf or, a tricep, a bicep, ab muscle, something like that. Because just the way we train, we go hard. Because the harder we train in class, the better prepared we'll be out on the street. We say the more you sweat in class, the less you're likely to bleed out on the street. But yeah, man, it's awesome. I love it.
Now, I'm really using this as a segue because I know in the last couple of weeks and for months now, everybody keeps talking about Brock Lesnar going to the UFC. And I've been saying it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It can't happen. And this week, other reports are finally coming out kind of agreeing with me, where they're saying that Brock Lesnar is more worried about his health than he is about... Well, he's worried about his health, and the fact that he's safer in a WWE ring than he's ever going to be in a UFC.
Which is true.
Right, I agree. Well, the thing is that in the WWE, yeah, there's always the risk of injury, but I mean, it's more controlled than going into an MMA ring where, just look what happened to Anderson Silva.
I mean, shit, he came back. Who the fuck ever thought that was going to happen?
So, I mean, you look at something like that, and it's like, damn, I mean, it's unpredictable. So, I can understand where he's going with that, and about him not wanting to get into the MMA, and if that's, the case to protect his body, I mean, it's tough as brutal.
Absolutely. But I just find it interesting because everybody was so sure that this is going to be the end of his WWE reign, but I really don't see the man I think it's possible he's going to retain at WrestleMania.
Oh, God, I hope so. Oh, my Lord. The hype train.
I mean, it's a huge possibility. If he's not going anywhere, why take the belt off him?
I don't think they should. If it's possible that if he signs a contract, obviously, we would probably find out a couple weeks before WrestleMania if he's staying. But if he signed and stayed for even another year, just leave the belt on the dude for at least another year.
I mean, I'm not even saying you have to leave the belt on him for the whole year because I know he's going to have some off days in the schedule.
Leave it on him until Rollins cashes in, which is supposed to be in like June or something.
You could probably take it off of him as early as Extreme Rules and still be able to bring him back for SummerSlam or whatever and have the amount of heat and everything that you need on the man.
That's true.
Because you can take him out without ruining the whole I beat the Undertaker streak as long as you don't take him out at Mania.
That's true.
Jackson, what are your thoughts? I know you're pretty new back into wrestling here. What are your thoughts on watching Brock Lesnar every week?
Well,
Guys,
every month.
Yeah. He's a beast. When was it? A few weeks
I'm
back
a beast.
on Raw? Yeah. Was it a few weeks back on Raw where he just came in the ring and just started clearing? He cleared it out.
Oh, you're talking about the Big Show at 5, where Big Show
Yes.
landed on his back?
Oh,
Yeah.
That was like crazy.
Yeah.
I marked out during that one. That was one of my mark out moments.
Yeah. That to me was like, holy crap. I'm like, man, I'd like to see this guy hold on to the belt a little bit longer. Because that was one of those moments where it was like, this guy's an animal, man. His skills in the ring is just, I mean, who else has skills like this guy in the ring? I mean, really, you guys tell me, because I've only been watching for maybe about a month and a half, but the guy is just a beast, you know?
I mean, he's always been that good. The problem is that with the current product, he doesn't do a lot besides F5s, and, you know, I want to say it was Xbox who brought this up on Twitter in the last week, but, you know, he doesn't even really do a German suplex because he doesn't get the bridge.
Yeah, but you don't have to get the bridge to do it.
That was the Xbox thing. You have to have a bridge for it to be a German.
It's still a massive German suplex, no matter what you want to say about it.
Benoit got the bridge.
Benoit was also the best technical wrestler in the world for, 5 years running?
Mm-hmm.
Good point. I can't really argue that. Moving on a little bit. I know you want to talk about, what was it? It was Rival, wasn't it, Alex?
Honestly, I'm just going to since I'm going to spoil the secret here, guys. Oh, I'm so sorry. We're recording on Thursday due to conflicts and schedules. I'm just going to lump in everything from NXT for the past basically 2 weeks.
If we're going to do that, I want you to hold on to the women's match for a little bit, because I definitely, that was probably my highlight of Rival.
All right, well, I'll just go down the list here, and we'll just discuss things I'll just literally go down the card. So, Tommy Breeze, not really much there. I mean...
Taylor Breeze?
Tyler Breeze, yes. Hideo Itami versus Tyler Breeze. Decent match, well worked. Nothing really special there. I mean, there wasn't much build up to it.
I'm going to put it to you like this. For me, right now, Breeze is if Dolph Ziggler was a good gimmick.
Yeah, pretty much. If Dolph Ziggler still really had a gimmick, yes. At this point,
Tyler Breeze is that gimmick, and he probably sells just as well.
He's great. I'm not saying that the Itami Breeze match was bad at Rival. I'm just saying that compared to the rest of the things on the card, it didn't really have a build-up, which it doesn't take away from the fact that it was a very well-worked match. I really enjoyed the match itself. Next up was Dempsey Corbin in a no DQ match, which didn't really come into play. And
it was
honestly,
the worst match of the card.
I like Bull Dempsey. He's kind of a throwback. I don't like Baron Corbin. He's not very good in my mind. He's not a very sound technical wrestler. Yes, he's a big guy, but oh my God, I can't stop looking at the face on his stomach anytime I see the guy. His stomach has a face, and if you see it once, it will distract you the rest of your life.
Wow.
So yeah, that match is just kind of thrown out the window. Then we had Lucha Dragons and the Dubstep Cowboys, as people are now referring to them, aka Blake and Murphy.
That's one of those.
It was a botch fest. Again, nothing really noteworthy. I mean, it had some cool sequences. It was a good match, but for a lot of botches. Then we get to the really, really good stuff. Neville and Baylor. And before I even talk match, I'm just going to put this out there. Despite the fact that Finn Balor might not be a huge man, yes, we all know there's Prince Devitt in the Indies, blah, blah, blah. he has quite literally, since he's been in NXT, pretty much shown that he is easily the biggest superstar that they will have for the next 15 years. Well, okay, not 15. He's a bit old to do that, but 10 years, Finn Balor is probably the best guy that they could have gotten. And
He kind of bores me.
What?
I mean, like, personality-wise. I get it, in the ring, he's cool. He's got the cool gimmick with the paint. I like the paint. I love paint.
I can break it down for you like this, why he's going to be a megastar. And it's really simple. He appeals to the kids, which you have to cover nowadays.
With the paint?
Yeah, apparently it goes over really well with the kids.
Which is weird because it's kind of, like, horrific looking, but
yeah,
I
it's a bit
understand.
scary. It kind of looks like Venom almost.
Maybe that makes it cool.
He appeals to the smarts and the fact that he was an indie guy for a long time as Prince Devitt, and then he's also a great wrestler. And then he appeals to the women because, let's be real here, dude has a fucking body like it's fucking chiseled out of stone.
That's not John Morrison. I don't know what you're talking about.
And he's just got a special personality. He understands ring presence extremely well.
I'll give you that part. But, I mean, I really like watching Neville in the ring. And I just didn't care enough.
All right, well, I'll say this. The Neville-Baylor match was easily the best match on the card.
I know Ruff's not here right now, but, me and Ruff talk about this kind of stuff all the time. And the Smarts love NXT, but NXT is pretty much the worst thing wrestling's ever had. And it's for the simple fact that you have these established guys, and you're not paying them top WWE dollar, and you've basically, it's just, marketed the indie circuit.
It is, but it's not a bad thing.
It's not, but it's not the spectacular, amazing next generation of wrestling that people are thinking it is either, because all you've done is take some of the highest draws in the indie crowd and capped them.
I wouldn't even say they're
shot them in the kneecap.
I wouldn't even really say that they're capped in NXT. Now, the minute they walk onto the main roster, they're probably going to get capped because they have to dial their moveset back. But there's a lot of things that happen down in NXT that are things that would not be allowed to happen on the main roster.
Yeah, but think about it. The money is not on NXT. They're not making the money in NXT.
You're right. I'm just saying. And we're getting completely off track here. I'm going to get back. I'm going to drive the train here. We're going to get back on track. So Neville and Baylor came out, put on an amazing match with some incredible spots. Baylor doing the off-the-top rope, back of the neck stomp. I don't even know what to refer it as.
I love that double stomp. I've always loved the double stomp.
Not the one that finished the match, but the first one that he did whenever Neville was standing up. Mm-hmm. It looked almost like Seth Rollins' curb stomp from the top row. Poor Blackout.
Yeah.
They stole the name Blackout away because he's not Tyler Black. Oh, depression.
Remember that gay porn he was in?
Baylor used a sling blade, which was really cool. I don't know if anyone else saw it even.
I don't think I did.
You'll see it if you go back and rewatch. Neville obviously had some really cool high spots, which that dude is literally a human highlight reel. He's like Rob Van Dam and somebody stronger than Rob Van Dam put together without all the drugs.
I mean, he's such an amazing talent, and we just have no room for him on the main roster right now.
That's actually a true statement. But you could say that about a lot of the guys in NXT right now.
Yeah, because they're all so established and so good already.
Yeah.
They don't really need developed.
No. Neville's mic skills have gotten a lot better since he's been in NXT. He's improved.
I'll give you that.
There. You wanted to skip the Fatal 4-Way, so I'll skip that for now.
No, we're there. We're there. I'm here.
You sure? Okay.
Let's discuss this.
All right, so we had a great tear down the house style Fatal 4-Way between Becky Lynch, Charlotte, Bayley, and Sasha Banks, who is in fact Ratchet.
I mean, I don't give a shit how ratchet she is. I want to shoot Becky Lynch in the face every time I see that sideways ponytail.
Wait, Bailey?
The only thing
Bailey, you mean?
I want to shoot Bailey in the face.
What's wrong with Bailey, bro?
Hate that ponytail. You know what? Actually, I said this in a conversation on our page, Kayfabe Gimmicks on Facebook, that, oh my god, she really just reminds me of Deb from Napoleon Dynamite, but
with a fatter ass.
She's I don't know if she's got a fatter ass.
She's got a pretty nice ass, bro.
The girl who played Deb was a little thicker though. So
Yeah.
Deb might have a nicer ass.
All right,
I gotta look this up.
I'm watching some highlights of the fight, and I see the thing about the ponytail.
Let's talk about the actual match and not Bailey's ass, okay? I'm driving the NXT train here. The host has switched from Snuva to Alex because this is the NXT train and I drive this motherfucker. I don't play games. Alright, so there were some really good spots. Alright, I'm just gonna let you actually talk for a minute here, Todd. Go ahead. Tell me what you thought about it.
I loved when Bailey pulled off, it was basically the code breaker, wasn't it? She pulled off code breaker.
Okay, I'm gonna actually interject here because it wasn't just her that pulled that off. It was
You're right.
supposed to be, Sasha's actually has a weird face buster that I haven't seen her use, in a match, but there have been videos that have circulated of it where she does the, I can't think of what it is, but basically the opening to what happened to her there, only she goes through like a sunset flip. Not a sunset flip. She goes through the person's legs and then face busters them basically while still in the air. It's really cool. Look it up. I'll link it in the comments whenever the podcast comes up. But basically it looked like that was going to happen, and then Bailey dropped the code breaker on her.
I love that moment. The LED moment. The LED moment reminds me that you can have violence in a women's match without any blood, and still, I mean, that match just reeked of being hardcore no matter what. They really went at it.
Yeah, they did.
That match was definitely the highlight of the entire show for me. Carry on your train.
I'm actually going to stay on that match for a minute just because of how good it was. Other really nice spots was how heelish Becky Lynch acted. She didn't really have any big high spots in the match, like no things that she did, but she had multiple times where she almost won the match just by being a sneaky heel, which is actually funny because you don't see that as much in women's matches. And I mean in the way that she tried to just steal a pin and almost got it. She had moments where it looked like she might actually win the match despite everybody and their mother, including Corey Graves, praying that she didn't. Also, I love Corey Graves shit-talking Becky Lynch. It's hilarious.
It was a solid match.
Charlotte over the top rope was awesome into all three other women.
Kind of wish we hadn't taken the belt off Charlotte.
I'm okay with it because I'm going to guess that Charlotte might be coming up from NXT to face Paige. I'm assuming Paige is going to take the title away from Nikki. Nobody really cares about Nikki.
I don't know if that's a good thing.
I mean, she's easily the most bona fide and believable kick-ass woman on the roster. That's for damn sure.
I know, but we're talking about moving a good women's wrestler.
Yeah, I know.
Up to the main
roster. I know,
roster.
just look at how Paige is doing. I mean,
and you know what? Let's interject with Jixon here because Jixon's been quiet for so long. Jixon, how do you feel about women's wrestling?
There's some really skilled ladies out there, you know, you know, I'm watching this match you guys were talking about, and there's some really good stuff there. I mean, some of these ladies really, I mean, you can tell they really work at the craft, and some really good moves. I mean, they fly around. So.
And this is not the kind of shit you see on WWE for the most part anymore.
No. Everything that I've seen on WWE so far has been just.
Bathroom break?
Yeah, I mean, it's been ticky-tack and just, not hardcore like these ladies are. I mean, these ladies are really going at it. I mean, some of that match is better than a lot of the stuff that I've seen on Raw from guys. So I wouldn't mind seeing this on Raw.
Well, you won't. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
All right, well, speed up your train a little bit, Alex.
All right. Well, we're almost at the end of the train. Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn. Surprised, I'm pretty sure 95% of the people watching. Not even in the fact that Owens won, which was surprising in of itself, but
I just don't feel like the NXT belt has a lot of hold right now. It's been changing hands a lot lately.
But it normally doesn't. That's my point. Every reign that they've had up till Sami Zayn's was the longest reigning champion that they had.
I know, man, but if you think about it, NXT just got popular, really.
That's true. I'm agreeing with that. But the fact that Kevin Owens just absolutely destroyed Sami Zayn is what made it surprising. I mean, Zayn had a moment where it looked like he would rally, and then they sold that concussion thing with the head off the ramp so well that it was almost believable, and I actually bought into it for a little bit.
See, but to me, I think part of your problem here is the fact that you didn't watch the El Generico Kevin Steen fights, did you?
I've seen some of them, yeah.
And a lot of this is just SSDD. These two have been putting on 5-star matches together for a long-ass time now.
That's true. I'm just saying, man, the WWE used something that was definitely laid out in front of them.
Absolutely.
And you can't fault them for it because it worked very well.
I understand. I understand what you're saying there.
I
think the storyline of it is definitely one of those good choices.
I agree.
The fact that they're pushing Owens as the I want money guy. This belt means money.
Owens could debut on the main roster right now as a replacement for Kane and Big Show, and he wouldn't even have to be any different than he is right now. All he is a guy fighting for a prize and putting more money in his family's pocket, and all they would have to do to make that seem like a normal thing would be, yeah, Triple H offered me more money.
Man, it's not even just that. You have Owens debut, and then, whenever he's doing the dirty, dirty deeds that he does, you have his wife and his kid just sitting in the arena once in a while. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just perfect because you could sooner or later use that as a face turn too, man.
Oh, yeah.
You'd actually just look over at the wife and kid and kind of grimace before you just smash the shit out of somebody.
Oh, I agree. All right, I'm just going to, since again, this is Thursday, guys. Sorry that we're late. Kayfabe Gimmicks on Facebook. Come check us out. Make fun of Todd. It happens a lot. I'm going to push the train into Wednesday, a.k.a. yesterday, which was, sorry, spoilers, guys. Don't fuck off. I don't care. Basically, we had...
Your big spoilers right now.
Yes. We had actually a pretty decent match at the end, but the main things that happened were everyone got hyped that Blue Pants was there. Everyone enjoyed Big Cass and Enzo because they're freaking hilarious. And Todd is SAWFT, soft. And Rhino showed the hell up. And the best part...
I actually really enjoyed the two of those guys.
Oh, dude,
they
they're
are
fun.
Hilarious.
And Big Cass, the way he does everything, makes it so much better. Like, the fact that his taunt before he finishes somebody is to pound his chest and ask them, how you doing? It's funny. But the entire place freaking out and just chanting, holy shit, I know it's a very smarky crowd, but still, whenever Rhino came out was awesome. And then the fact that all it was a squash match where they're just chanting gore, gore, gore. It was fun. And apparently Rhino's going to stick around for a while, which is awesome.
He does. If I go into some spoiler territory, he's definitely going to be squashing a few more jobbers. And he's got one high-profile
I was
match.
about to say, don't say who. Because I know who it is as well.
I'm not going to say whether he wins or loses, but it is supposed to be phenomenal here in the month of April.
There you go,
I
guys.
want to say it's all the way in the month of April.
Well,
And
NXT tapes really far ahead, so yeah.
I know, which means when is our next takeover
Not
or
for
whatever?
a while. It'll probably be after WrestleMania. They only do one like a quarter.
Oh, have they? Because it feels like these last two have been like a month apart.
No, it's been a hot minute that Sami Zayn won the title.
It
Actually,
did
no.
not feel very long at
No,
all.
you're right. It was only 2 months.
If even.
No, it was 2 months because Kevin Owens kept claiming that he was going to win the title 2 months to the day that he debuted. And he debuted on,
Yeah.
the TakeOver event.
Well, moving onwards a little bit, Rhino in the company, do you think Rhino's going to go anywhere with NXT?
I could see him hanging around NXT for a little while. It wouldn't surprise me if they brought him up to the main roster again, even if it's just for nostalgia. Because the guy still works pretty well. I mean, he's going to do the same things he did back then. He's going to be a brawler, and he's going to hit gores, and he's going to smack people, and that's about all he does, which is fun.
I mean, Jixon, do you remember the Rhino?
I remember a little about him. Yeah, not a lot, but I do remember some of him. I think he was coming on as I was leaving.
He was leaving, actually, again, by the time you were leaving.
Oh.
He came on in the early 2000s. He won the United States, I want to say, the hardcore. You know, stereotypical mid-Carter days for him after he left ECW.
Yep.
But the interesting thing is that WWE released a video of William Regal talking about his debut and the fact that he's back. And Regal was talking about how the fact that the man is a former ECW heavyweight champion.
Yep.
He's had a pretty illustrious career by now, and I wouldn't be surprised if he wins the NXT belt.
I think it would be an interesting way to go about things. The issue in that being that, are we moving Kevin Owens up? Is he staying in NXT? What is he doing? And this is, we're going to bring this full circle real quick, how there was not really spots for a lot of guys. So, right now, there's a lot of talent in NXT. Because, you're right, they basically plundered the indies and took a bunch of high-profile guys. But, right now, guys who could at least come up and be mid-Carters, no problem. And this is just no issue being a mid-Carter. Owens, obviously. Sami Zayn, obviously. Adrian Neville, as long as he can get over easily. Finn Balor, if he can get his mic skills up a little bit, obviously. Same with Hideo Itami. They've both obviously been big as well. And I honestly think Tyler Breeze could come up right now and do a pretty decent job.
You know, the thing about Neville is he should have already moved up.
Yeah, he should have.
And I don't even think the guy counts as mid-card material.
Why do you say that?
Because he can put on such a good match that people want to watch him.
Oh, yeah, I agree with that. I said minimum of the mid-card, bro.
No, I'm just saying, like, at this point, I don't even understand why we took the belt off of the man, because you're wasting him in NXT now.
Probably because he'll debut if they do the Andre the Giant Battle Memorial or whatever again this year. He'll probably debut in that.
Maybe.
I'm gonna go
We're at a
spoilers
very interesting
again.
place. Oh yeah.
Here's your 5-second warning if you don't want to hear spoilers about Adrian Neville. Blah blah blah. All right, here we go. He hasn't been at tapings for the last couple weeks, which would make sense if he's going to debut at WrestleMania in the Battle Royale, because that would take place in March.
Yeah.
And if he's not taped for episodes in April, why else wouldn't he be taped?
I mean, it makes sense, but it's taken way too long.
I agree.
He's been without the belt for 2 months.
I'm not disagreeing with that at all. They probably should have brought him up earlier than they did.
You know, I want to actually move into a little bit of a Q&A here with Jixon. Specifically, you know, you watched wrestling.
Yeah.
When you were younger, you watched a lot of wrestling, would you say?
Yeah.
Now, you disappeared for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So, how do you feel about the current product that you're watching?
I don't see anything that's wowed me yet.
Yet you are still weekly watching and enjoying yourself.
I am, because I'm hoping to get some type of payoff. But I haven't seen anything yet that totally, completely just blows my mind away. So I'm sticking around, and I mean, I enjoy it, but I still haven't seen anything that just completely blew me away.
I understand where you're going with
Like
that.
nothing Stone Cold Rock level, I guess.
No, I completely understand where you're at there. The closest thing you have to that in this day and age is probably Dean Ambrose.
In his current form for now.
Alex, I'm sure you got some good questions here. Go ahead and ask the man some things.
I don't know. Biggest thing, man, do you really view this as something worth watching live on a weekly okay, he basically asked you the baby version of this question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you view the current product as something that is worth tuning in live to see, as in it's can't miss? Because a lot of guys at this point watch afterwards so that they can just skip all the filler. And because in my opinion as well, there's a lot of filler in Raw. How do you feel?
For now, I wouldn't say it's can't miss, but I'm trying to watch as much as I can so I can kind of get all caught up and know exactly who's who and try to figure everyone's backstories, because really at this point, the only people that I'm really familiar with would be Cena, The Big Show, Kane, and everyone else is pretty much new to me, so I'm just trying to get the feel for everyone. So for right now, I wouldn't say can't miss, but I'm trying to watch as much as I can so I can get familiar with everyone. And once I am, then, I mean, but not because I'm ready. I can't wait to see what's on next week. No.
Okay. That's basically what I expected. No, that's honestly basically what I expected from pretty much anybody starting to watch the current product after taking a hiatus.
Yeah.
That's how I felt 4 years ago whenever I came back after taking like 2 years off.
Yeah, it's really one of those hit or miss things. There are moments, there's moments lately that have been really nice. Really
well,
nice.
You can say that about the last 5 years, man.
No, I agree. There's been a lot of hit and miss stuff.
You could say the summer of Punk made it seem like wrestling was starting to go into a great direction, but it all went downhill.
So what's the problem now with the product? Is it that there's the talent? Is it?
I honestly, people have said, and I hear this and I don't buy it, that their roster is really shallow now, which I call bullshit on right out of the gates. Because if they really wanted to have a deep roster, they could have a deep roster just by building up some guys that aren't named Cena and Orton.
Mm-hmm.
If you just put Cena and Orton on the back burner for a while, let's be real here. Sheamus is returning and everybody's expecting him to jump right back into the main event. Orton, if he comes back, they're going to expect him to jump right back into the main event. It's the same thing with Cena and Lesnar. You can put those guys away for 6 months and build other people. The problem is that nothing past the main event really gets a storyline. The little bit that you've seen of Goldust and Stardust is probably the most story outside of the main event that we've seen in 3 or 4 months.
I definitely see that part, and even with the Miz storyline, as you've seen over the last couple of months, it doesn't really go anywhere.
No, that's what I mean. I hate the Miz right now. I'm officially marked out towards the Miz. he has heat with me. And it's not like X-Pac heat where I just don't want to see him. He has heat because he is being that good of a heel.
I mean, he is, man, but The Miz never probably should have left the main event circuit.
You're probably right. Well, he needed a break, man. He just wasn't the same.
I know, but this is actually the second time they've tried this current gimmick of movie star, and this time it's working a lot better than the first time.
Yeah, it is.
It's really weird. We are not in the greatest of eras for wrestling. Even with NXT, I mean, you have to look at it legitimately. It's not all a Vince thing. It's not all a Triple H thing. It's a fact of they haven't had real challenges as a company to their product in so long. You have an owner who still has to go kind of PG because what if his wife decides she wants to run for Senate again?
Yeah.
Gotta support her. Don't want people using me as a bad thing here. You've got people underneath who are still subservient no matter what they say. I mean, they have enough control that they could be like, hey, fuck this, Dad. We really need to do something. We need to mix this up. But they don't.
Also true.
They don't. And, a part of me just thinks they don't care.
I think one of the other big issues right now, and I don't know how long it's been a thing in the WWE, but the way people make it sound now is that every single person has to just watch their back 24/7. And it was in the interview that, we talked about him earlier.
Bateman.
Yeah, said about the WWE, and it's that every single person
E3
will just stab you in the back. Which kind of sucks. I mean, if you had to watch your back 24/7, that's kind of a hostile way to work.
I don't really feel like it's just that, though. I mean, look at your Alex Rileys. Sometimes you just don't open your mouth, man. Like, that's part of life. You just don't need to talk. You don't need to talk shit about people that you work with. And, a lot of it comes down to, there's these bullshit reports about how these WWE stars are all upset about NXT's going on. But they're making more money.
Yeah.
Even your mid-cards are probably making as much as Kevin Owens is right now.
Most likely, yeah.
Especially when you count in all their bonuses and stuff. I mean, they're getting a decent turnaround. Your problem really is the fact that if anything they're upset about, it's the sheer fact that they don't have enough time. They don't have enough titles. There's no brand separation. There's one product spread across two shows, and not very well. You definitely have 40, 50, you have like 40 dudes on the roster. You could work with this.
Yeah.
You have enough to have a full tag team division for probably 2 sets of belts, 2 mid-card belts, and 2 main card titles, and keep people intrigued, and be able to write better storylines that way.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, now maybe that's because I'm so old school, but you don't need less belts, more tournaments. Sorry, Mark. You need more places for people to shine and look legitimate, and that comes out of having a belt or fighting for a belt.
Or at least a story.
But, you're not going to just... At the same time, do you really care? I guess you do. I guess you do
If
care
it's a good story, yeah. I care about Goldust and Stardust.
You want to see a good soap opera. That's why women watch wrestling.
I want to see... Hell, it doesn't really count, because the story for Ambrose versus Rollins was...
pretty shitty, but at the same time, you just like watching them go at it.
Yeah.
And that is the one thing I will say about this product. We have some great guys who can really go at it and put on a good show, no matter what, that makes you want to watch at least that.
Yeah.
It's just never going to be... I don't know if we're ever going to get back to the old days of wrestling until you actually get a challenger.
Which, I mean, eventually, 5 years down the road, maybe you might see something like that. I mean, I watch a good bit of the alternatives nowadays because they're on TV and they're on the internet. Ring of Honor is on TV and or the internet, whichever one you can find. Lucha Underground is out there. TNA isn't terrible.
I mean, that's a matter of opinion. TNA just did 2 pay-per-views, one men, one women's, and they both followed the exact same formula. Seriously.
I didn't catch that. I'm not going to lie. I'm sorry.
You didn't hear me, or
no,
you didn't
catch the matches.
I didn't catch him either. I didn't watch him. I just read a breakdown. Basically, everybody who won through the night then all had like one big match at the end. It was weird.
That's odd.
TNA is doing odd things. They lost Samoa Joe recently. Vince hates Samoa Joe. And then it's interesting because apparently Triple H is willing to take Samoa Joe, which furthers that concept of NXT is just scooping these people up so that
I don't think they could put Samoa Joe in NXT though, bro.
Why?
It's different. I hate to say it, but it is different.
It's different than Rhino?
Well, okay, that's actually a really solid point. I don't know how they put I think, man, shit be fucked, dog. Shit be fucked.
I mean, honestly, you have Triple H running a propaganda machine right now, where this is the next generation of wrestling, but look at Bo Dallas.
You know what?
Cesaro.
You know what I think it really is? And I hate to be corporate conspiracy guy. It's Triple H making a play at taking Vince out eventually.
Maybe, but you know, that goes back to the whole, I said, complacency thing, where you have this man who's back out there talking all this crap, saying, man, you know, we do things Vince's way on Raw. We don't do things Vince's way here out at NXT. It's my show. But then he's on Raw every fucking week, playing corporate stooge.
Yep.
If you don't like it, don't do the role. You don't have to be on that TV show doing that role right now. You could be like, writers, come up with something.
He is the head of creative.
But instead, you are still being the exact same character that your father-in-law was, and taking the show nowhere. You're the main character right now, Triple H.
Yeah.
Yep. You're still burying motherfuckers worse than John Cena, let's be honest. Triple H taking a main card slot.
Golden shovel.
I love Triple H versus Brock. Seriously, Jackson, go watch it. WrestleMania, one of the greatest moments ever. WrestleMania is the one with Kimura on the steel chairs.
No, I know.
Steel steps.
I know. I'm just saying, watch all of them.
I loved. I didn't love Triple H Undertaker, but Triple H Bryan was good.
Yeah, it was.
Triple H every year is at WrestleMania taking up a slot now for nothing.
It's starting to get a bit past it, because really, Triple H is not a mega draw.
He's not, as much as I know that I'm going to enjoy him versus Sting.
I agree, no, I'm going to enjoy the match personally, but the draw in that match is not Triple H. The draw is Sting. It's just like how the draw last year was not Triple H, it was Daniel Bryan.
Nobody gives a shit about Authority storyline. Jackson, do you actually care about the Authority?
No.
Do you take the Authority seriously?
No.
Is it because Kane is an evil slacks?
Evil slacks!
No, it's just, I mean...
Can we change the name of the podcast to the Evil Slacks Podcast?
Maybe. Jackson, whatever you're doing, it is way better for your mic quality, dude.
Is it? Okay. How long has it been since the Authority got reinstated? What, a week, a month and a half now? A month? Something like that?
Well, they were only gone for like a month anyways.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they were gone for a month, been back for a month.
I mean, I'm tired of it now. I'm over it. the same thing every week, and they get punked. That's like the authority with no authority. I don't know. It just I'm ready for them to move that along.
It's really funny because this is basically a storyline that has been going on. So it's been going on since probably before Stone Cold, but it's definitely been going on as long as Stone Cold has been around.
Well, even just this particular brand of the authority, as in Triple H and Stephanie, has been going on since SummerSlam 2013.
2013? What was SummerSlam 2013?
Whenever Daniel Bryan beat John Cena clean. Wait, was it 13 or 14?
Oh, no, 14 was not 14. Look, I'm going to be more honest with you. If you want to go back to Triple H, the Authority, it goes all the way back to the days of Johnny Ace.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
So we're talking about 3 or 4 years now.
Yeah.
Now, we got Mark O'Leary here tonight.
Hello?
He gets
Sounds
5
like
minutes
shit.
to talk and we done. We out, boys.
How long have you been going for?
55 minutes right now. Welcome to Kayfabe Gimmicks.
Oh, shit.
Mark, Jackson here's only been watching this product for about a month and a half. We've asked him a little bit about how he feels about current wrestling, why he's watching every week. Do you have any questions you'd like to ask the man about what drives him with this product right now?
Not particularly. I just wonder how many people he actually recognizes.
I think I recognize about 4 or 5, but not many.
It's like Kane, Big Show, John Cena even.
Yeah, Brock Lesnar, and I think that's about it. Everyone else is pretty new.
I mean, that's not really a bad thing.
Yeah, that's over 10 years, man. I mean...
No, it's not. And I mean, as long as the characters, or as long as the wrestlers are interesting, I don't mind.
So anyone other than John Cena, got it. Thanks.
John Cena in his heyday was amazing.
Hey man, we don't talk about the Doctor of Thugonomics right now. I'm gonna mark out and get sad and cry.
You know what? Actually, this is a good question here. Jackson, how do you feel about John Cena, what you've seen of him?
He would have left right at the Doctor of Thugonomics, wouldn't he?
Yeah. He never got Cena out like the rest of us.
Well,
it's to me, it's, I don't know. I mean, again, nothing spectacular, nothing that wows me. It's just,
you know what? Let's rephrase the question real quick.
How do you feel about his character?
I don't know if that's going to help him eliminate this or take this anywhere, but I was leaning towards Jackson. If you take John Cena and you take all of your wrestling experience from when you watch wrestling, where do you put John Cena? Like, obviously you draw parallels between things you've seen before and things you're watching now.
Right. I would put him probably in the middle of the pack.
But I mean, which specific person does he remind you of?
Which specific person does he remind me of? Is there
Does he remind you of anybody?
Is there someone that he should remind me of?
No, no, I don't. I don't want to lead you in any way.
No, because I mean, I'm trying to think, and someone specifically that he reminds me of. I can't think of anyone.
I actually really like this because a lot of people like to point out the John Cena Hulk Hogan thing.
Yes.
And they're very, very different. They're very different.
They are.
Like from the way they wrestle to the way they talk, they're hugely different characters. And I like the fact that you can see that they are different.
They are.
It's more that they're sort of shooting for the same demographic as the comparison. You know, they're both sort of overly clean-cut faces.
Yes. That's true.
It's true, but it's a less obvious thing than what people make it out to be.
Oh yeah, but back then, the Hulk Hogan era, everything was way obvious. You know, like the gimmicks were so on the nose. So these days, I guess it's a little subtle. I don't know. You describe it as subtle, but yeah, John Cena is still the Hulk Hogan equivalent, if you ask me.
I really think Roman Reigns is taking it.
Not a Hulk Hogan. I don't know what he is now. He's a complete blank slate. He hasn't got anything to
He did a suplex this week, guys. He did a suplex. Roman Reigns did a suplex. Oh my God. We were supposed to be impressed, right?
Yeah, I mean, his matches lately, I'm sure you've done a thought if you've already covered all of this. But, I mean, these matches with Daniel Bryan, everyone's been talking about saying, like, he's been improving. Okay, watch these matches and see how much time he's actually in the ring and what he does in the ring. He throws punches the whole time. His shoulder blocks and punches. All of it. Dude has 2 moves.
You gotta give him credit where credit's due. At least he could pull off a suplex. Who saw that coming?
Everyone can do that.
I bet you can't.
And probably not just from a strength thing, no.
Well, then not everyone can do a suplex, can they?
If you're stronger, if you've got the strength, then the technique probably isn't all that difficult.
Oh my God, guys.
That's probably day one of wrestling.
I feel like Mark has officially closed the podcast now.
Mark just kills everything. He's the buzzkill of the podcast.
He's Buzz Killington, killing everything happening in Kayfabe.
I think we needed that.
Yeah, if we'd have got into NXT, I'd have been a lot more positive.
You missed that by 20 minutes, bro.
See, that's the one thing I'm not a bummer about.
I got to talk plenty of shit about it.
Your opinions don't count.
Alright, let's close this down before you two start bickering, because I know it's coming. I ain't going to sit here while you two bitch and whine at each other. Todd, hit an outro.
I don't want to hit outro yet. I do want to end the show, though. If anything could happen here, we'll say, like, at Fastlane, because this is going home show, guys. We're going into this pay-per-view. Jason, what gets you excited? What could actually happen that could excite you going into Mania?
I guess Daniel Bryan winning, but, you know, that's it.
I don't think your name was Jixon.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear you say Jixon.
No. No, that's
Jixon,
okay.
what could happen that could actually get you excited as a casual viewer?
I don't know. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know. I don't think I've been watching it long enough to see something that really pulls me in and that's going to make me excited. But I don't know. I mean, I'll watch it and then I'll, I guess I'll just pick my favorite moment, I guess, because I do like Daniel Bryan. He's great on the microphone. He's got skills in the ring, and I really like the guy. So
he's definitely a package.
Yeah, he is. Unlike Roman Reigns, I don't understand the guy. I really don't, because every time the guy grabs a mic, it's like he's so awkward. Maybe it's just me, I don't know, but you know, like people that you stand next to someone who like they don't know what to do with their hands. Whenever he's on the microphone, I just get that feeling from him that he's forced. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but that's my feelings on the guy.
I feel you. Alex, I was going to ask you specifically a question. I forgot it. Oh, God.
Hype train.
I mean, I don't know what to say. One second. Alex, talk to me about something. Anything.
I feel like the situation that is currently, guys, is that Todd just got a phone call, and he expected us to vamp on this whole situation. But instead, I think we should just sit here quietly and just see what happens. You guys down for it? Make him do the editing. All right, everybody silent on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, and by the way, whenever he comes back, say surprise, motherfucker.
So surprised about what,
Oh,
Mom?
shit, he came back too early. Damn it. Yeah, we didn't vamp at all, bro. We just figured you could edit it out.
I didn't hear anything yet, guys. One second, let me take care of this phone call. Are you doing something? Are you doing something? What are you doing? How are we ending this show?
Oh, bro, we're waiting for you. You can
I'm
edit
here.
it.
We can edit what? I don't like to edit things.
That sucks, because we didn't vamp at all. We just kind of let it dry.
You let it dry?
If you would have told me to do an outro, I would have done an outro, but, you know, whatever. Now it's your job. You're going to have to edit this shit up.
Nah, fuck that. I gotta go to work, guys. This is Kayfabe Gimmicks. We're on YouTube at Eviction ENT. Matt's on Twitter, Unclean Spitter. I'm on Twitter, Real Snoova. Alex is on Nintendo. He wants to play Smash Brothers.
Not for much longer if you play like a camping little bitch.
Mark has to go to work sooner or later.
3 hours.
Exactly. Hickson's gonna be training for Krav. It's fun. You guys have a great night.